Hello and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I will be doing a full NFL one-round mock draft with trades. Normally on this page, I'm a Commanders page for anyone that's new to the page, but today I'll be doing a full NFL mock draft. And yeah, let's get right into it. All right, so first overall, we have the Raiders. I think it's pretty obvious what they're doing. They're going to go Mendoza. And I'm excited about what the Raiders' offense is going to look under Clint Kubiak. With they have Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers. I like Trey Tucker. I like the signing of Tyler Linderbaum, even though I think they overpaid for him a little bit. But you got to overpay in the free agency to get good players. And yeah, I'm excited about the Raiders team. I think they could be a fringe playoff team this upcoming season. And I don't think they'll be a playoff team this year, but I think in the next couple of years, I think they'll eventually get in the playoffs. They signed Kirk Cousins, so Mendoza can sit on the bench a little bit, which I think might be good for his development. And yeah, all right. Next up, we got the Jets. All right, so the Jets are in a kind of weird position for them because there's no good quarterbacks available to draft at 2. So I think they'll go like the best player, like / best upside, which I think is Arvell Reese. I know the Jets have made a lot of signings on the defensive side of the ball, but I think they go with the highest upside player in Arvell Reese. Here we go. All right, number 3, Cardinals. This is actually where I have the first trade of the draft happening. I think the Cardinals are going to trade with where are they? Kansas City Chiefs. I think the Chiefs will send 9 and 40, and then a 2027 third rounder. Or, let's see. All right, it was accepted. So the Chiefs, there have been rumors about them wanting to trade up, maybe for a pass rusher, and I think that's what they're going to do if they do trade up. I know trading up, it's not like the superstar pass rushers, but I think Bailey and Bain are both great pass rushers in the NFL, and I think the Chiefs will take David Bailey. Their pass rushing is not the best. They have Karlaftis I like a little bit, but I think they need another guy there, and that would be David Bailey. All right, next up, we got Tennessee. Tennessee's in an interesting spot because they had a great free agency, so they could go best player available here, or I don't think they'll reach on a receiver, but I could see them going Jeremiah Love. I could see them going Ruben Bain. I could see even them going Francis Maluega. But I think you want to build around Cam Ward, get him the best player on the offense available, and that's Jeremiah Love. So Tennessee, I have going Jeremiah Love. All right, next up, we got the New York Giants. Giants are in a spot where I think they could go Sonny Styles. They could go receiver, pair someone with Malik Neighbors. I know they've been looking for a wide receiver too. They did sign Tremaine Edmonds, so I could see them not going linebacker here, but I think the problem with drafting Sonny Styles in the top 10 is you're paying him like top 10 money for the linebacker position already. So it's kind of like it's a hard position to draft him in the top 10, but Styles is one of the best athletes of all time. And his tape backs it up too. He's amazing on tape. He's not just an athlete, but so I think that's what Giants are going to do. I think they're going to go Sonny Styles. I think he's the best player available here. So yeah. All right, next up we got Cleveland Browns. All right, so the Browns are in a spot where I think they go receiver here. Actually, they made a lot of good moves on the offensive line in free agency. I know they signed Elton Jenkins, they signed Zion Johnson, and they signed one other guy. I'm sorry, I'm blanking, but I think they go receiver here, and in my opinion, the best receiver in the class is Carnell Tate. I think he's the most safe pick, though. Definitely has the highest floor, in my opinion. Might not have the highest upside, but I think he has the highest floor, definitely. I think he's a great player. He stays in Ohio, and yeah, so I have Cleveland going Carnell Tate from Ohio State. All right, next up we got Washington. This is kind of not the best scenario for Washington. A lot of players that could fit their team went before them in Tate, Styles, Love, and Bailey. But they could go Ruben Bain here. They did make a couple signings on the defensive ends. So might not go defensive end here, but I could still see him going Bane. They like him a lot. Downs is available and Delane's available. So it's a tough spot. I think I'm going to go with Ruben Bain. Washington gets their pass rusher. I know with the arm length is a big question, but I'm not really that worried about it. I think he's going to be a great player in the NFL. And he screams like a Dan Quinn type of guy. So that's who I have Washington going at 7. All right, number 8, New Orleans Saints. So I think the Saints will go defense here. I don't think the board fell for them in a way that they would draft an offensive player to help Shuck, but I think they like Downs, they like Delane. I heard, so I think it's between those two. But I think they're going to go the LSU guy, Delane. They need to replace Alontae Taylor. I know they're not really like a similar player, but I think the Saints could use a corner here, and I'm going to have them going Mansour Delon from LSU. All right, next up we got Arizona. I think Arizona is going to go Francis Maluega here. I could see them going Francis Maluega at 3, and to get him at 9, I think they like that value a lot. They're building a good offensive line in Arizona, and maybe 2027 is the year they draft a quarterback. I don't think it'll be this year. Quarterbacks aren't that great, so I think I have them going Francis Maluega to shore up the O-line for that 2027 quarterback that they're going to draft. All right, Cincinnati Bengals. I know they made a couple signings at the safety position. Maybe not a couple, but I know they made a signing at safety. So I'm still going to have them going Caleb Downs, best player available at number 10. Probably a top 3 player in the class, but positional value again. It's hard to draft safeties high. All right, Miami. Miami's offense is not great right now. They don't have many weapons around Malik Willis. The receiving room is pretty bad right now, so I think they'll go receiver here with Mekhi Lemon from USC. All right, next up we got Dallas. Dallas, I think they're going to go defense here. They have to go defense. If they go offense, that'd be a big mistake. The defense is bad. Their offense is great. So I have them going Jeremiah McCoy from Tennessee. Tore his ACL last year, didn't play all last year, but he might even have the highest upside at corner in the class, even over Mansour Delon. But I think Delon's better choice, and I think Delon will go higher. But McCoy's great too. All right, next up we got the Rams. Rams are an interesting spot here. They could go a wide receiver. I think they could go offensive line too, and that's what I'm going to have them doing. I have them going Spencer Fano from University of Utah. His arms are a little short, so he might not play tackle. He could be a guard, but I still think he could play tackle, but we'll see. All right, Baltimore. All right, I have Ravens going offensive line again and back-to-back picks. Well, the NFL back-to-back picks, but the Ravens going offensive line and Vega Leone, best guard in the class. I think he's going to be a starter for 10-plus years in the NFL. He's a great player. And yeah. All right, 15, Tampa. Tampa's in a weird spot. I don't really know what they need, honestly. It says they need a tight end, but I know they signed Kate Otten. So I don't know if they'll go like Kenyon Sadiq here maybe, but they could go edge. The edge rushers are kind of falling off right here. And they could go Hakeem Mesidor, but he's pretty older. They could get a wide receiver maybe, but I'm going to have them going Kenyon Sadiq here. I know it doesn't make too much sense, but let's get more playmakers for Baker. All right, the Jets. So the Jets, second first round pick. I have them going wide receiver Jordan Tyson. The concerns with Tyson are his injuries. He's a great receiver, but he tore his ACL a couple years ago. Broke his collarbone. He had hamstring issues this past year. So the injury concerns are definitely real. But I think 16 is a good spot for him to go to the Jets. Jets need some receivers, so that's why I'm going. All right, 17, the Lions. All right, the Lions. I'm gonna have them go Monroe Freeling, offensive tackle from Georgia. Left tackle. I've seen reports saying that they might move Penei Sewell to left tackle, but with this pick, I think they can keep Penei Sewell at right tackle and have Freeling be the starting left tackle. All right, number 18, Minnesota Vikings. Vikings need a safety. That was one of their weak points on the defense. Harrison Smith likely retiring soon. I have them going Dylan Thiemann. Think he's good value at pick 18. They need a safety. And yeah. All right. 19, Carolina. Carolina's in a weird spot because they could use a receiver here, but they drafted a receiver the past 2 years in the first round. So I don't know if they'll go receiver. This would be a good spot for if the Kenyon Sadiq fell. I would like him at 19, but he's already been drafted. So I'm gonna go. This is tough. You could go edge. I do like the defensive ends they drafted last year. So, um, hmm. Could use an O-line, but I think their line is actually pretty solid. So I've decided on Avion Terrell from Clemson at 19 to Carolina. I know they got a couple good corners there in Carolina, but I think Avion Terrell is going to be great. And he does have some injury concerns. I know they got hurt at his pro day, but he'll probably be fine. So yeah. All right, 20. This is the pack here. This is the Cowboys' second first round pick. I think they double up on defense in the first round. They have to. They drafted Jeremiah McCoy at 12 in this mock for me. And I'm gonna go. They could go linebacker here. They could go. I'm gonna go Akeem Mesidor. I know he's a little older, but he's a great player. And I think Dallas is kind of in like a win now mode, so the thing makes sense for them. And if they can get a defense to be even average or above average, that team's going to be kind of dangerous. So I'm a little worried about it as a Washington fan. But, all right, 21, Pittsburgh. So we still don't have any news on if Aaron Rodgers is going to play next year. And I wouldn't draft a quarterback this high for Pittsburgh. So I think I might go receiver here. There's a couple receivers I like. I like Omar Cooper. I kind of like Denzel Boston. I like Casey Concepcion. So I'm going to have Pittsburgh going Omar Cooper Jr. from University of Indiana. I think he was the best receiver on the national championship team, and he's a baller. So, yeah, 21, I go Omar Cooper. 22, Chargers on the clock. You could go receiver here for the Chargers, but they need to get that offensive line fixed. They have 2 good tackles, but their interior offensive line is really bad. So I'm gonna go an offensive guard here. Mino Pregnon is definitely better than this 36. I think they have him at. And yeah, so Chargers go with offensive lineman from Oregon. All right, 23, Philly. All right, so Philly can go in a couple different directions. They could get like their AJ Brown replacement if they're expecting to replace him soon. Don't think they will. I do think they need an edge rusher. They lost Jalen Phillips to free agency, so I think they'll go edge here. Falk, I don't really like Falk that much. I would love Philly to draft him though, but Cassius Howell has very short arms, like one of the shortest ever for edge rusher. And I think TJ Parker, he just seems like an Eagles defensive end. He got the size. Did have a down year for Clemson this past year, but he was projected to go like in the top 10 for the year. So yeah, I'm gonna go TJ Parker from Clemson at 23 to the Eagles. All right, 24, Cleveland Browns. Had them drafting Carnell Tate at 6. Could see them going offensive line here. All right, so for the Browns, I'm gonna have them going. I know this is kind of like a weird pick, but Caden Proctor from Alabama. They do need help on the offensive line to protect Shadur or whoever the quarterback is next year. It could be Watson, but Proctor did play left tackle at Alabama. He might be a guard in the NFL. He'd be a huge guard. He'd be a huge anything. He's like 6'7", 360. So, all right, 25, Chicago. I think Chicago probably could do something on the defensive here. I could see them going like Peter Woods, maybe. Caden McDonald makes a lot of sense. They could go edge and Falk, maybe. But I think they're going to go to the best interior defensive lineman, and that's Caden McDonald from Ohio State. All right, Buffalo. Buffalo, I don't think receivers are needed anymore after trading for DJ Moore. But I could see them going CJ Allen here. They could use another corner. It's a tough choice. I think I'm going to go. They could go Amanda McNeil-Warren. It's such a good spot for Amanda McNeil-Warren. Buffalo. Actually, that's what I'm going to do. Amanda McNeil-Warren to Buffalo. I love McNeil-Warren. I think he's a top 20 player in the class. But again, safety value, how high you draft your safety. But yeah. All right, 27, 49ers. They could use some receiver help. Ayuk likely leaving, and the receiving room kind of being a little weak right now. I could see Casey Concepcion or Denzel Boston. They also could use an edge rusher. They did go edge last year in the first round. I like Howell. And actually, I think that's what I'm going to do, actually. Cassius Howell. He's a lot different from their last year, first round pick, and Mikael Williams. So I'm going to go at 27. All right, next up, Houston. Houston could use some O-line play. They don't really need a tackle. They need like more interior, and I don't know how Blake Miller or Max would project at guard. So I think they'll pass on a guard here. Now, they could go interior defensive line. Peter Woods. Actually, yes, I'm gonna do. I know the Texans' defense is already amazing, but add Woods in there. Did have a down year, but I still think he's a good player. And 28, Peter Woods from Clemson. All right, 29, Kansas City Chiefs with their second first-round pick. They got this pick from the Trent McDuffie trade. So I had them going David Bailey at number 3 within a trade up. At 9, I could see him going corner here. I like Colin Hood. I like Keith Abney. I like Chris Johnson. Pons is a little smaller. I'm not the biggest fan of Cisse. They could also go receiver here. Denzel Boston would be a little different from what the receivers they have currently. Concepcion's kind of similar to what they have. I think I'm going to go corner here, and I'm going to go Chris Johnson. He just seems like a Kansas City Chiefs defensive back. And I know the competition he didn't play was that great this past season, but his tape is amazing, and he looked really good. You can definitely see him being a first-round pick. And he just seems like a Kansas City Chiefs type of guy. I don't know why, but yeah. All right, number 30, Miami. Now, Miami, their wide receiver room is not good at all. I could see them doubling up on receiver. I had them draft Mekhi Lemon with their first pick. So I could see them going receiver again. I like Denzel Boston if they go Mekhi Lemon first. I like Chris Brazel. I could see even Bernard, but it seems kind of high for Bernard. They could go. No, not safety. Could go corner. You know what? I think they're going to go corner here. Colin Hood from University of Tennessee. Tennessee has 2 first-round corners, it looks like, this year. All right, 31. Patriots. I'm going to go Max from Arizona State here. It seems like Vrabel loves him. He was really hands-on with him at his pro day. And they do need an eventual Morgan Moses replacement. And I think Max can be that. He could start at guard early on and then eventually go to tackle if they want him to start right away. But that's why I think they'll go at 31. 32, Seattle Seahawks. They did lose a couple defensive backs, so they could go DB here. They could also go edge. They could go running back, but I don't think any of these running backs are worth a first-round pick. So still a lot of good players available. Lee Hunter. They want to go interior defensive line. You know what? I'm gonna go edge here, and Zion Young, very good player. They did lose the Seahawks did lose Boye Mafe to free agency, so I could see them going edge here. I wonder if Seattle like Falk. I know he's a good run defending defensive end, not the best pass rusher, and I know Seattle doesn't really need pass rushing from they don't that's not what they look for, like sacks. They don't really look for that. So I could see them going Falk here. I like a couple other these guys. I like Malachi Lawrence. I could see him sneaking in the first round, maybe early second. I like Jacobs. I like Zion Young. Arbason Thomas I feel like is underrated too. But I think they're going to go Keldrick Falk here at 32. And there we go. That's the end of the mock draft. Let's just see what they give us. Let's see, so here's the full draft. I have Mendoza at 1, Reese at 2, Bailey at 3, Love to the Titans, Styles to the Giants, Tate to the Browns, and I'm not gonna say every name, but here it is. And yeah, so I do want to apologize. I'm not the expert on all 32 teams, so if I drafted someone that no way, if you think no way we're gonna draft that guy, let me know. Because I am a Commanders page. I'm Commanders first. I know a lot about the Commanders, but I'm not a full expert on all 32 teams. I want to be, but just let me know if you guys like this kind of video, like a full NFL mock draft. I might do one more before the NFL draft in a couple weeks coming up. And yeah, all right, thank you. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe, and have a good one.